River Phoenix, who is Danny Pope. First of all, I compliment you on your work with Sidney Lumet in Running on Empty. And I thought, River, there was something interesting with all the work, television, commercials, feature films you have done so far in your life. Aren't you about to celebrate your 18th birthday?
Yeah.
Happy birthday in advance.
Thank you so much. I mean, I don't know of many people who will remember my birthday, and that's really nice of you.
And you have a large family, and I hope they all remember.
Of course.
Lots of gifts from your brothers and sisters and parents.
Yes, indeed.
I wanted to point something out.
Sure.
With all of that work, Sidney Lumet, who was himself a child actor in the Yiddish Theater in New York, through the golden days of CBS television drama, is a teacher, and we know a distinguished filmmaker, often referred to as the reluctant auteur, or the filmmaker with a conscience. Sidney Lumet taught you things, technically, about the camera, the lack of self-consciousness, and the actor's awareness of where the camera was at all times. How did that come about, River?
He taught me that?
I thought it was something that you said Sidney Lumet had given you that other directors so far might not have given you.
Oh, definitely. He is very spontaneous in his directing, and calls for that in the acting, you know, and there's not a lot of repetitive stuff, a lot of takes. I mean, it's very organic, I feel, and what's the word? Candid. I think, you know, pretty early on. I mean, you don't get to 4 takes with Sidney, which is really nice, and most of them are 2, 1, and he's really, really good.
Let me ask you something else about the actor working and being aware of the progress of his own work. When you and Richard Benjamin were working together on Little Nikita with Sidney Poitier, Richard Benjamin, who you described as a nice guy, very calm, very quiet on the set, was reluctant to show you the rushes, or for people who aren't in the film industry, the previous day's work. Sidney Lumet was very happy to show you and the other cast members the rushes. Are there advantages, River, to seeing the rushes for the actor?
You know, it really depends on the character and the role that you're playing. In Nikita, it was appropriate because Jeff is supposed to be completely disillusioned with his whole life, completely torn in between this and that, and the rug basically has been pulled out from under him, and that's kind of the feeling I get when I don't see rushes. And I spoke to Richard beforehand about that, and he let me see 2 scenes in rushes, and that was fine. I was very you know, happy because it was appropriate for the role. But for something like this, or for something like Mosquito Coast, I saw the rushes on, and it works fine with me. I don't get self-conscious with them at all, or it helps you stand back. When I see rushes, I'm not there as character watching the rushes, because then that makes you self-conscious. If you're there as River watching something that you're detached from, it confirms who that character is and just makes that image more vivid in your mind, so you can go into that, and it helps me a lot. It really enforces my character.
One of the reasons that Running on Empty touches the heart and the emotions is the on-screen reality of the relationship between Christine Lottie, Judd Hirsch, and River Phoenix as the son. What did you know about Christine Lottie, first of all, before you began this movie? What did you know about the woman and the actress?
I didn't know much about the woman. I knew, well, I heard a lot about, you know, all the guys I'd ever known, like, oh, Christine Lottie, Jesus, you're working with Christine Lottie? Housekeeping was something that hadn't come out yet, and I had seen her part that she, what was that with Goldie Hawn and
Swing Shift.
Swing Shift.
Jonathan Demme.
Yeah, I had seen that, and I had saw something else on cable. I forget the name of the film now, which is awful of me. But well, I mean, everyone refers to her as being like a great actress, you know, and so my hopes were already right there as far as being secure with, you know, who was playing my mom. So I was really.
And Judd Hirsch.
And Judd, I grew up watching Judd practically. Whenever we had a television around and we could get the local station, we would flick on Taxi. In fact, recently the only station we get now where we live is it's all fuzzy and messed up, but we get it, and we're there at a certain time every night to watch Taxi, and it's great seeing Judd on Taxi. I love that show slays me. But anyway, Judd was great to work with, and I'd known that he was versatile as far as an actor and wasn't just a sitcomster, that he also had done Ordinary People and a lot of different films, and I was really confident, and especially after the first 2 weeks of rehearsal, we all meshed and blended so well together. The chemistry was really good, and the communication was really good, and it was really good, so I was really happy.
River, while your film debut may have been with Joe Dante in Explorers, as a Canadian citizen, I'm curious about, not only because of the impact Rob Reiner's Stand By Me had on all of us as moviegoers, but you worked with Kiefer Sutherland at a turning point in his professional life.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a friendship? Have you spoken to each other since that movie?
The last time Kiefer and I spoke was on looping for Stand By Me, I think. Or no, actually, I met him in a restaurant in Los Angeles somewhere. I have not spoken to him, although there's a film that I'm now looking at that he stars in, and so, I mean, there's a chance that I might be playing along with him. But no, I haven't talked to him, but I really do like his work, and I stood in awe back then when we did Stand By Me. I mean, he had this vibe and control that was just so definite. I mean, you wanted to be able to walk in his shoes, as far as he seemed like a real secure guy, really in control of everything, which was really cool.
Well, River, while you go off to do your role in the new Indiana Jones movie, I compliment you on your work for Sidney Lumet on Running on Empty. Perhaps we'll see you, like your co-star Martha Plimpton, sometime in Toronto, making a movie.
I would love to be in Toronto. I'd love to visit Canada.
Good, then you can bring your 12-string guitar and play that song you wrote about you and Martha.
I wrote a song about Martha and I
thought you composed a composition that had
During
something
Running
to
on
do.
Empty, I wrote a song about the characters, Danny and Lorna, and did a little 24-track demo on my 17th birthday, and it turned out quite fun. It's kind of like a vaudevillian type song with piano and cello, and it's fun.
Well, now you must do one for your 18th birthday and keep this going.
I already had done one for my 18th birthday.
There you are, and we will meet again. I thank you.
Very nice talking to you.
My pleasure. Thank you.